Kairos the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side.
The disfavored warrior claps her hand to her breastplate, the traditional salute of her legion.
We were told a fate binder was coming, and although our commanders will not say why, it all seems obvious. Graven Ash and the voices of Nirad can agree on nothing, least of all battle plans to wipe out the Oathbreakers. I trust you bring orders from Tunin that will break that deadlock?
Can you hear that hum in the air? The glow around the rocks? The avalanche is Kairos' magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley.
Your senses see more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things. But if that was Kairos' magic, and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be an Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plagues? An edict of twisted bones?
Our hero glares, silently. A nervous smile creeps over her as she awaits a response that doesn't arrive.
I am asking questions beyond my station.
She dips low, trembling as she bows.
Forgiveness, please. Well, you've traveled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at...
Her voice falls silent, her attention snapping eastward with alarm.
Did you hear that? More runners. 3rd time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley.
She points over to the collapsed path by which you arrived.
But they're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight.
Right. I got... On it. Can't do that.
Try and catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fury weaves around the Vendrian Guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countryman.
This one's crazy. Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Ha! Fatebinder. Here at last. Here to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery.
She nods to the armed soldiers bearing down on her.
Save something for me.
For the realm of Apex, charge!
The Vendrian Guard level their weapons and advance.
I see as the crow flies. Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
I'm versed, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian Guard we killed didn't come alone.
She gestures to the skirmish unfolding in the pass below, shaking her head.
I'm ready if you are.
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
I see your point. Nice and practical.
No reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes. For the voices of Nerat!
Verse furrows her brow and focuses down on the battle to come.
Eyes forward, nae looking back.
The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his falx held high, his words largely lost over the din of combat.
Stand aside, or your funeral will be over that side of the bluff.
Seeing you, squarely in his path, the warrior points his weapon your way.
There is no escape, and for Oathbreakers, no surrender.
Then we'll settle this with bronze.
The warrior points towards you, ordering his men to advance. As he orders his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention.
Scarlet Chorus reinforcements, hurry!
From the red blob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges from the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones. Signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard warriors, as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage.
Hold position! All of you! You there! Keep to the path!
The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus's roaring challenges.
Nay, don't engage 'em. We need to run.
His orders falling on deaf ears, the warrior reluctantly readies his weapon.
Heads up.
Come quick! We have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander.
Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before he hits the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point.
Skewer him. Worry not for me. Graven Ash will protect.
The disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from his braces and cuirass.
You heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp?
This blade? With a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastus's matted hair. If you are so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. You lower your weapon, ready to charge forward and wrest the knife from him. The Oathbreaker cracks a wide smile as you lower your weapon. That's right, now the rest of you, drop those weapons. With his attention on the other warriors, you dash forward. He reaches up with the dagger to slay Drastus, but your hand is already on his wrist. With a wrenching twist, you mangle his hand, dropping the dagger harmlessly to the ground. The disfavored warriors rush forward from either side of you. Tyrell barely manages a strained gasp before being hacked and impaled upon their swords and spears.
Chorus be praised. The Oathbreaker fought with a rage of Cairn himself.
Drastus slides a trembling hand across the cut on his neck.
Thank you, Fatebinder. I thought today was me last. From the look of it, I guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, one might make it out. Found a few scraps of parchment on the bodies.
Drastus holds a handful of crumpled parchments, ready for your inspection.
A student of letters such as yourself should be able to make sense of this.
You inspect the parchments, repeating the same message in different written scripts. The parchments explain the Vendrian Guard's desire to overthrow Kyros's Archons and root their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's Well.
Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traders to the fight. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hope to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting ya. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southeast and follow the trails down slope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires miles away. Can't miss it.